Everybody's life is different, the peculiarity of one's own life, and my life is quite peculiar, unique. Influences of Indian culture have been as deep in my life as the influences of Western culture. So I think of myself as a hybrid. One is shaped by not only life experiences, things one reads, films one sees, and intimate friendships that shape us in very important ways. From my earliest childhood, I have been an introvert, and I think I still am an introvert thrust into an extrovert world. And so this relationship with the world is not always a happy relationship. So my happiest moments are when I am alone. But then I have a very special bond with my son. The conversations I have with him are the most stimulating I ever have with anybody else. Now he's grown up, he's into his own world, he's going away to Oxford, and he has developed his own interests, which are not necessarily my interests. He has developed an interest of his own. Bombay producer Subhash Ghai, he used to call me often to his office in the evenings. One of the things that haunted him, how did I become so established and made so much money when I was actually the backbencher in class in FTII? There were so many bright boys in the class, whereas I did not even understand what was going on in class. And there is no direct relationship between intelligence and creativity. Those who are creative, their intelligence doesn't show up in the ways that we expected. So I grew up in, my formative years was in the 1980s Calcutta, and there is a certain cultural context to it, and I think to a large extent I was shaped by that. Having to choose a profession, one chooses science, so I studied statistics, economics, all these things. Having grown up, as I said, in the 1980s Calcutta, when the presence of Satyajit Ray was overpowering in our culture. Of course, one has regrets in every aspect of life, but the question is to move on with them. But yes, I'm not sure I chose the right profession. I am not sure I chose the right career path at the right time. There was a filmmaker who actually helped me, which was Mrinal Sen, and another person who suggested I stay away from cinema, which was Satyajit Ray. So, but we were just too happy that Ray had responded and thought about me. The woman whom I married, her name was Anuradha, and actually she fell in love with me. I mean, I was a teacher, she was studying MA in film studies, the first batch in Jadavpur University, and I was a visiting professor there. And I was very young at that time, I was 26. I was very surprised to see that a student was so interested in me. And that was also a time when there was this huge love affair that has been growing in my mind, and it has been very frustrated because there is a woman, a Spanish woman whom I had loved and continue to love, but we just could not get married because of political problems, because of the different disasters that happened in the world. But when I saw her, and I instantly fell in love with her, and I'm a strong believer in love at first sight. So in between this, suddenly when I was getting exhausted with that waiting for a woman, and this Anuradha thing happened, so I went along with it. So we eventually broke up. Yes, a woman with whom I have, who has been an important part of my life over the last 30 years, 1990, yeah. I was going to a bookshop in a public bus, and I met her actually in a public bus, and I was sitting in the one of the front rows, and I found a woman who was ready to get down, wearing a long black skirt and with a cascading brown hair. And I looked at her and I thought that this is the woman of my life. Global vertigo that happened at that time, and everything was upside down, and she decided to leave the country. And she thought she was coming to India, but then something happened, and her visa ran out, and so she could not travel out until the papers were in order. So it was a very, very complicated. We were trapped in a long situation, and so this situation continued for 4 years after I. Until this another thing happened in my life. So this is how our life is. So I'm very happy, and I like my solitude. I like being alone. So this is the perfect balance in my life. She's there, but not on a daily basis. So I love the yearning. I love, and I look forward to those days in the year, when those 2 weeks in the year.
Huh? Oye.